Hello, my people. Good day to you. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whatever time zone you're listening to this, I want to appreciate you for your attention. Thank you for tuning in every single day to Daily Mind Shifts. My name is Michael Ujola for Mindset Transformation Africa. And in today's episode, I want us to talk about being strong and also being weak. Let me anchor today's episode on this statement. Never assume that loud is strong and quiet is weak. Never assume that being loud is being strong or being quiet means you're weak. See, we live in a world where volume often gets attention. The more loud you are, the more attention you seem to get. We are conditioned to associate boldness and confidence and success with loudness, with making a statement, with always being on, in quote. But strength doesn't always look like that. Sometimes being strong is found in stillness. Strength is found in stillness, in the quiet, in the restraint to act with purpose, with clarity, without broadcasting it to the world. So today we will talk a little bit about why loudness doesn't equate or equal strength, why quietness doesn't imply weakness, and how understanding this can change not only how we view other people, but how we also see ourselves. Let's talk a little bit about the power of presence over volume. There is something profound about quiet strength. Think about the times that you've encountered someone who radiates calm, who radiates groundedness without ever having to raise their voice. They have an impact that doesn't rely on flash or noise. That is presence, a kind of strength that comes from being self-assured, being focused, not necessarily volume. People who have presence don't need to prove anything because they are comfortable within themselves, all right? Their strength doesn't need an audience. They are like a river cutting through rocks, not because of force, but because of persistence, because of consistency. Their strength is in their steadiness and their ability to withstand anything that life throws at them. Presence is powerful because it is consistent. It is unshakable. See, loudness, on the other hand, often draws immediate attention, but that attention doesn't always translate to impact or to respect. We might remember the loudest voice in the room, quite all right, but when the dust settles, the voices we truly respect and return to are often the ones that carried weight without needing to be the center of attention. These people create an atmosphere of trust, an atmosphere of strength, an atmosphere of calm that speaks louder than words. See, you need to understand your inner strength because I believe that is the quiet warrior. See, quiet people often get underestimated, most often. In group dynamics, we sometimes assume that if someone is quiet, they must not have much to contribute or that their quietness implies insecurity. But this assumption couldn't be further from the truth. There is a quiet warrior in many people. A type of person who processes things deeply, who listens intently, and who acts with intention. These are people who may not need to broadcast their opinions because they know when the right time comes, they will speak up. They know when the right time is to even speak. Think about the people in your life who take time to respond, who pause before they speak, who carefully consider their words. These individuals, these people often embody a quiet strength that is rooted in wisdom, that is rooted in patience. They are not ruled by their impulses or they are not ruled by the need to be heard. Instead, they are driven by a commitment to integrity. They are driven by a commitment to clarity, to truth. This type of strength is subtle but powerful, and it can be far more enduring than the loudest and most visible display of force. See, another important point to consider is that loudness doesn't make someone right. In fact, some people shout their opinions because deep down they are unsure, they are insecure. They believe that the louder they are, the more likely they are to be believed. But truth isn't a matter of volume, it is a matter of substance. When we assume that loud is strong, we sometimes give undue weight to the most vocal opinions without questioning their authenticity, without questioning their validity. This can lead to a distorted perception of what is true, a distorted perception of what is valuable. Just because someone says something loudly and with conviction doesn't mean they've thought it through, or it doesn't even mean they are right. Meanwhile, the quieter person might be the one holding the key insight or wisdom, but because they are not as vocal, we might overlook their wisdom. So, how do we counteract this tendency? It is by training ourselves that we need to look beyond volume. We need to listen for value. This means that we need to actively seek out the quieter voices in the room. We need to start valuing the people who don't feel the need to shout or even sometimes to say anything. And we need to start encouraging ourselves to think critically rather than simply following the loudest voice that we heard. See, you need to also recognize that you possess this. You have your own quiet strength. Maybe you're someone who is quiet by nature. Perhaps you've felt overlooked because of this particular nature of being quiet, or maybe you've even been pressured to be louder or to be more outspoken to be noticed. If that is the case, I want to use this opportunity to remind you that your strength is not defined by your volume. You don't have to change who you are to prove your worth. Being quiet doesn't mean you are not strong. It doesn't mean you are not capable or even valuable. In fact, your quietness can be your strength. It can be your superpower. It allows you to listen deeply, to observe carefully, and to understand things that others may miss. Your quiet strength is what gives you resilience. It's what gives you the ability to adapt and the capacity to grow without needing applause or the recognition of other people. So do not feel pressured to be something that you are not. Lean into your quiet strength. Use it to your advantage. Show up authentically and let your actions and your consistency speak for themselves. See, sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is to simply be, is to remain steady in who you are without the need to prove it to other people. There is also a misconception that loud people are always confident and that quiet people are insecure, but no, that's not true. The true confidence doesn't need to be loud. In fact, some of the most confident people are the ones who don't feel the need to make a show of it. They have nothing to prove because they already know their own worth. On the other hand, loudness is sometimes used to mask insecurity. A person who is unsure of themselves might speak louder, like I said before. They might speak more frequently or with more intensity in an attempt to cover up their doubts. So you need to remember this. Volume does not equate to confidence, just as quietness does not equate to insecurity. Real confidence is self-assured. It is humble. It is grounded. It doesn't need validation because it is self-sustaining. It is and that is precisely this kind of confidence that quiet people often embody. A confidence that does not need to be broadcasted. Do you understand it? Confidence that doesn't need to be in any form of broadcast. See, you need to learn to listen beyond words. And that is one of the most important mind and powerful shifts that you can make today. Learn to listen beyond words. Sometimes the quietest people are the ones who say the most with the fewest words. They've learned that true communication is not about filling the silence, no, but about making every word count. Think about the leaders, the mentors, the friends who communicate with clarity and purpose. They don't use words lightly. See, to truly understand people, we have to be willing to slow down, to sit with silence, and to listen not only to what is being said, but to the intention behind it. This kind of listening requires patience, humility, but it opens up a new level of understanding and respect. So never assume that loud is strong and quiet is weak.